Okay. Olá pessoal, eu vou aqui conversar com o Peter. Ele é um estudante de uma faculdade aqui da universidade que tem uma forma de trabalho bem diferente, chamada Proakatemia. E ele vai contar um pouco para a gente sobre essa sua experiência, como ele se formou aqui, como ele tem hoje a sua empresa. Muito obrigado, Peter. Thank you very much, Peter. And now you can start our interview.
Thank you. So, hello, my name is Peter Pertulla, and I work for Tampere University of Applied Sciences, and I'm responsible for our education export to the African and the Arabic countries. And I studied here in TAMK's Proakatemia. So I studied here and I graduated roughly 3.5 years ago. And while studying, I set up my own company also. And I actually started to run my educational exporting company already while a student. But nowadays I work for the university, so with my own company we are, for example, renting a mobile sauna and selling gift cards to companies. And traditionally our Proakatemia has been a place for Finnish students, so it has only been in the Finnish language. But nowadays, because there is so much demand, we actually set up our first English-speaking team. So nowadays you can also study in English.
Peter, this is a good question to ask you. Here in Finland, of course, you have a lot of different ways of learning and teaching, of course, if you compare to Brazil. But here in Proakatemia, it's really very different. When I was here in 2014, and some guy said to me that there is no teacher teaching as a formal way, I really didn't believe. How the learning happens if there is no teacher? So could you talk a little bit about this?
The learning model.
Yeah, the learning model, the methodology. But first of all, tell to us, friends from Brazil, what's Proakatemia?
Yes. So in short, when students come to Proakatemia, they have to set up real companies. So everything that they do in actual companies, and it's involving real money. So they're running businesses while being students. And there is no lessons, no teachers. Instead, there are coaches, and there's no exams, no grades. Instead, the students are receiving feedback and learning by getting feedback from customers, from peers, from coaches. So every team has a team coach instead of a teacher.
Yeah, but what about the contents?
It's roughly the students decide what they need to learn and what they want to learn about. So there is no fixed curricula. Instead, the teams might decide that, okay, our company is selling education, or our company is setting up events, or whatever they decide to set up their company in. And then they learn topics or subjects that are helpful in this business.
Yeah.
So each company has a different learning path. And the coach is responsible for, of course, guiding the students, but the coach is not giving direct answers. The coach is usually assisting and guiding, because we know that no coach can kind of be on top of all business areas, of course. And it's up to the students what kind of business they want to set up. So the coach is more of a facilitator.
Maybe he indicates some kind of books or papers to read.
Yes. So, of course, the students have to get some theoretical information. And in Proakatemia, because there's no lessons, they have to read a lot of books. So every student has to read roughly 2 books a month, and they have to write an essay.
2 books a month?
Yes. And that's actually more than in any other studies, probably.
Of course, yes.
So the students decide what they need to learn about. They find the relevant books, and they recommend books to each other, of course. And then they have to write essays on these books, and the essays are posted publicly online into our essay bank. So this is how the quality keeps good.
Before you start to study here in Proakatemia, you know about this kind of methodology, or when you stay here, it's different. What's your impression if you compare before Proakatemia, here in Finland and in Proakatemia, what was surprising?
So when I graduated from high school, I actually applied to a scientific university in the traditional way. And then I didn't get into this school. I got into TAMK, traditional business studies. And in the first year of studies, I actually set up my first company. And then one of the coaches from Proakatemia came to me and said that, hey, there's a different way of learning also. So there's a way of learning while running your own company at the same time. And that's when I got to know about Proakatemia. So I actually had no clue about this beforehand. Yeah. But this way of learning is very well suitable for certain kind of people. Not for all people. Some people want to study in the traditional way, and that's okay. But for some people, like me, for example, or my friends, we hate sitting in the classroom.
Yeah.
I want to be doing stuff and meeting customers and even earning money while studying. It's a good motivator.
Yeah, maybe people that is really entrepreneurship or want to be entrepreneurship.
Yes. Yeah, and this is a very good school for learning entrepreneurial skills because you are in a team with roughly maybe 20 other students.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to deal with, other people. You have to be able to deal with conflicts, for example. And you get to test out different roles in a company. You might be doing the accounting, you might be doing the marketing for the company, you might be a business leader, and the students are changing these roles all the time. So you can test different roles in a company already while studying.
But the companies here, they believe in students because you are not, let me say, you are not maybe ready to be a professional. You are studying, of course. But the company is okay. I trust in you. Go ahead.
I'd say that it is always, of course, challenging to sell your service or a product when you are still a student.
Yeah.
And for example, after graduating, I went to the UK to help Falmouth University set up a school using this learning model. And there, one of the first tasks that I did was that I took one student from each team company, and we went to walk from door to door to local companies in town to explain that, okay, these people are not just students, they are also running their businesses. And companies, they kind of understand the difference quite soon because these students are running a business, they are earning money, they are maybe losing money. So it's kind of more serious than just a school task.
Yeah.
The students here don't care about grades, they care about getting good feedback and making more sales. So that's why they are a lot more motivated than just doing a school assignment.
It's a kind of hands-on learning.
Yes.
So self-learning, but hands-on.
Yeah, and it's very practical because it's your own company. And when you kind of have a feeling of, this is our own thing, and we are doing jobs for real customers and projects for real customers, and not something that is invented by a professor somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes, I hope the majority of times, you have successes with your clients, but sometimes you have success.
Yes.
And?
Yes, so when the coach is kind of seeing that the students are about to make a mistake or maybe trying a project that will fail or something like this, usually they let the students fail because the students learn by failing on smaller things. But of course, if the students are going to make a big mistake or doing something illegal, for example, by accident, then the coach is saying that, okay, don't do this. But it is very interesting that we are able to learn from our own failures, but also from the failures of older students. So usually when you start here, older students that have failed in different projects, they come to us and tell us that avoid this and don't do this. So we can actually learn from other people's failures also. But here, graduating from Proakatemia has nothing to do with how much money you earn, for example. You can graduate from Proakatemia, become a good entrepreneur, even though you would lose money while studying.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to test things, and that's how business works. Sometimes you lose money, sometimes you earn money, sometimes you fail, sometimes you have a very successful project. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it's like the real life.
Yes.
But you are studying, you can change your way or learn with your failures too. Yes. It so nice. But now you finish your course in Proakatemia and start your own company.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope that's success.
Yes.
But actually, you are working in TAMK.
Yes.
In this kind of international learning course. I don't know what's this. Could you talk a little bit about your...
my studies now?
No. About your job in global team?
Yes, so At TAMK, my job is our educational export to the African and the Arabic countries. So I'm basically selling anything from short-term teacher training programs to complete degree programs.
Yeah.
So as kind of the latest thing, we are having 25 Kenyan nursing students fly to Finland actually this Friday, so in a few days, and they will study a complete bachelor degree here.
I talked with Juha and the other people, of course, and after PISA in 2000, when Finland was the number one in PISA, 2000, 2003, 2006, all the world pay attention in Finland and try to learn with you about this kind of special educational system like this. And because of this, of course, several countries want to stay here to start. Usually teachers or...
I say that in this educational export business, it's a very new concept to Finland, because all universities and actually all schools in Finland are public schools, not private entities. So this is kind of a very new thing that we are exporting education. And for many years, the main thing that we have been exporting has been teacher training programs.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's becoming more and more popular that we set up, for example, double degree programs with universities in, for example, China or Kenya. And then complete degree programs are also more and more popular.
Yeah, so nice. I have a curiosity about this way of learning Proakatemia. Of course, that to a business course is a little strong, very strong, not little, it's very strong. But it's possible to use the same in other kinds of course, like engineering, like nursing, or something like this.
Yes, so in the beginning, when they set up Proakatemia 20 years ago, it was just for business students.
Yeah.
But very, very quickly, the teachers here or the coaches realized that, okay, every team needs ICT skills, because all businesses need websites, advertising online and stuff like this. So all teams have ICT students also. And then nowadays we even have our own team for well-being students. So we have a team of physiotherapy students. And this is because if you study physiotherapy in Finland, after graduating, no one is going to hire you. Instead, you have to set up your own company and find customers, maybe one or two big customers. And that's just how the culture is in Finland. So these physiotherapy people also need business skills. And they have actually, we have been training teachers in, for example, high school already. So they are using this learning model in high school level already.
High school level?
Yes, and for example, my father is teaching aviation technologies at TAMK. He's the head of the aviation side. And he is using this team learning model with his students. So they have a drone and they have built a company around selling services with drones that they can do.
Oh, nice. So nice.
And I think that it's very interesting that when you make kind of any topic into a business, it becomes more serious for the students. They're not just doing schoolwork, they are also running their own business. So they're a lot more motivated, of course.
I would like to start something like this in Brazil, in Manaus, my city. Maybe in our media and marketing course.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more easy to start in this course. But I will need some years to show to my boss.
Yes, it takes time.
Possible.
Yeah.
Not only to boss, to teachers, to students.
Yeah.
Because if you tell about Proakatemia to a colleague, a teacher, or maybe to a student, he will not imagine how this works, because of course we are so traditional in Brazil.
Yes. And this is actually always when we have a visitor to Proakatemia from wherever in the world, from the US or Brazil or China or Vietnam or wherever, the first thing they say is that this is very nice, but it will not work in our country. But then we have been successful in opening schools using this model all around the globe.
Yeah.
We have good experiences from 5 universities in the UK, for example, from the Netherlands, from Switzerland. We are setting up schools using this model, even in Egypt very soon. And they are always saying that no, this will not work in our country, and we are so traditional. But I think that many countries are waiting for this new way of learning. The young generation is kind of fed up with the traditional way, and they need new solutions, and maybe this is one good solution for the young students. And of course, we have to tailor this to fit your culture and your context.
Yeah.
We cannot just copy-paste the same model from the UK to Brazil, because of course they're very different. But I think that there is a lot we can take from this model to Brazil.
Yeah, I think that here is maybe more easy. I don't know if easy is the right word, because you are so autonomous.
Yeah, I think
in your basic education too, okay? But maybe in Brazil or the countries that you are not a centered student learning process. So the student is always depends the teacher.
Yeah.
And if you just say, now go ahead, go along, maybe it will be very difficult.
Yeah, and I think that maybe in, for example, this model, we could talk about some kind of a hybrid system where the students are running their own companies for maybe half of the time, or for the other half they're being taught in traditional way. So maybe that's an easier way.
Yeah,
and then after a few years they run their companies for the rest of the studies. Maybe some kind of a model like this could be more easy.
This is a good idea. Okay, thank you. Would like to say some final words to Brazilian people? Maybe come here to visit Finland.
Yeah,
here.
I think that all Brazilians should consider Finland as a destination for study, of course, and for professional development. But if you decide to come to Finland, don't come in November, because the weather is terrible now.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm waiting to meet you guys in Brazil. Hopefully we can travel soon. And I love Brazil. I've been surfing there.
Okay. Very nice, Peter. Thank you very much.